So now you've also been, like, I guess I'm going back in time now. You worked at Wonderland, you did a lot of stuff there.
I was a pirate. You know what? I went there as a singer, but I had a broken leg and a broken arm. And I went and I performed green sleeves. I wanted to be at the medieval fair, right? I thought that might be.
I had a little story to tell. Can I tell the story?
It's not true, but you
Well,
can
it
tell.
is true.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought I had been scarred in some way as a child. Rob's about 10 years older than me, and so I thought I had this weird, mental scar image on my brain. But then when my first memory of Rob, childhood memory, is of him sitting in his tree in his front yard, wearing a leotard, kind of looking like Errol Flynn, and playing a lute, strumming a lute.
Do lutes even exist anymore? Yeah. He swears to God I was wearing a
I'm
headband
telling
and
the
a
truth.
lute.
I'm telling the truth.
I did used to climb my tree in the front yard and play guitar, so that's as far as I'm going to go. I did not wear leotards. They might have been long johns because it was winter.
This turned into Wonderland somehow.
Yeah, well then I wanted a job, so I went but they made me a pirate. I guess that's how I said
Well, I think he was just off work actually, and he might have been drinking a beer in the tree. We're not sure. But, he did have leotards on. I'm telling you, man.
And you thought, that guy's going to become my best friend.
No, I tried to go in the opposite direction. I need to get away from here immediately. That's what I thought.
And did you actually confront him about this little incident?
Not until just recently. I tried to shove it down in my subconscious.
Repress it.
Yeah.
See, this all can come out in hypnosis.
That's right.
That's why we don't go in there. He's got all these made up stories.
And what's this? You were a cowboy?
Yes, that's how I got the broken arm and the broken leg when I went to London. I was a horseback riding instructor. Not a very good one. I didn't know how to ride.
Oh, this interview just gets better and better.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a short career.
Okay, on that note, you know what? Let's take a look at some of the things that you have on the wall here. Tell me about the sketches over here that you have on the wall.
Well, the sketches sort of relate to some of the issues that we plan to touch on in the documentary.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have Slobodan Milosevic here. Noam Chomsky, a political analyst, historian. Gandhi, because Gandhi sort of informed the student protests in some way, shape, or form, because the students in Belgrade and Novi Sad were using non-violent techniques to overthrow, a dictator.
Right.
And so they got a lot of their cues from Gandhi. I'm not comparing Rob Stewart to Gandhi in any way, shape, or form.
Unless he had a lute and
That's
some
right.
nylons on.
I'm not saying Rob's bigger than Gandhi or better than Gandhi. I'm just saying. And then Vladimir Putin here, the Russian premier. And then what we kind of just these are a lot of our story notes here that we've had going, and we kind of set up a sort of an east and west balance here. We got Khrushchev on the right here. We've got Kennedy on the left. Obviously, they're the two guys who took us to the brink of nuclear war. And then the beautiful woman in the center here is Serbia. And
and you this is all your work?
yeah, this is all my work. Actually, interesting story about these paintings. They were lost in time. These paintings were done about a decade ago. And after my divorce, I thought they were lost and or destroyed. But my daughter and my mother salvaged them at some point and put them in storage. So when we got in here, I was asking, Rob was saying, I really wish you guys, or wish we had these paintings, because it's such a big space.
Yeah.
It's difficult to fill, and it's all white and whatever.
Yeah.
And then my mom and my daughter bring up the fact that they had salvaged them, so it's great. And then they relate, I think, really well to what we're doing.
Kind of
visually.
crazy.
Yeah, it ties in. Yeah.
And so, are you drawing these as you're getting inspired by ideas, or like, are these,
I drew these in a panic because Rob started beating me over the head about copyright issues. So he tied me to the couch, and then I was just knocking them off one by one, and if I didn't do them fast enough, he'd throw things at me.
Now, what's all this writing on the wall here?
This is insane scribblings. Most of this was the beginning of how we saw the film. Rob and I at one point decided we need to see the film from start to finish. So we decided to write it from start to finish on these big sheets, just so we could kind of see it. Today, like, it's a little different than what we've got here. It's changed quite a bit, but it was good just to try to work it out.
And you're actually shooting part of the documentary here in Brampton, is that correct?
Yeah, we're shooting in here.
Yeah.
We're shooting in Toronto. We want to shoot outside in downtown Brampton if we get some better weather. Yeah, and just you know, we've been given the space by John here, and you know, we're very lucky to have this space. So you know, part of that is to show that we are Brampton guys and we're artists from Brampton, and we want to, you know.
Yeah. So talk about the check on the wall over there.
Oh, the check on the wall. Since the last time you were here, we've actually upped the value of the check. This thing started going well.
Right.
So we decided we're going for more.
And the economy seems to be starting a bit better. You know,
indications there, yeah. So it went from 500,000 to 1,500,000, and this is a little better for us. Since we're splitting it 3 ways. But I got the idea from The Secret, you know.
Yes.
At certain points in your life, you're going to be drawn to The Secret for help. Creative visualization I'm very interested in. And so a lot of this whole project has been about creative visualization.
I see that.
And we've pushed a lot of limits, and we've broken a lot of rules to get this thing made already.
Yeah.
We have a calendar over there where we have written things and they have happened, and you know, so it's been a real experiment. And so this is just another one of the experiments. We're hoping that this one works out especially.
And that's what Jim Carrey did.
Yeah, you mentioned that at our first meeting.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't know that, but obviously it worked for him.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, Rob, tell us about this picture of yourself here.
This painting was done in South Africa. Sometime between 93 and 96. The show, Sweating Bullets, shot in South Africa. It was called Chop Movie there as well. In 92 and 93, just after apartheid had stopped, and we finished the show. The entire show was finished just before Mandela got elected. So 3 years later, I had a chance to go back and do a movie there, and I wanted to see how the country had changed for the better and all the rest of it. And my wife was walking the market one day with our 2-month-old son, and she saw this painting. And so she asked the painter, she said, who is this of? She just wanted to make sure. And he said, oh, Rob Stewart, he's a really famous actor here. He did a show called blah, blah, blah. And so before telling the artist that it was her husband and, you know, driving the price up, she bought it. And then she told him that, yeah, that's my husband. And then she tucked it under her arm and ran. So it's just been around. I don't know why I dug it up and brought it in, just because I never watched the show, I never paid any attention to it after, so I thought, well, you know, somebody did this, we'll bring all the things that reference the show that I have, and, you know, so that's...
She must have done a huge double take while she was...
Yeah, it's so weird, right? And it actually comes from a magazine article that I did in South Africa. I can't remember the thing. It was a big, People magazine in South Africa, and this was the photograph that he took it from, so... Yeah.